Making his way to the ring from the North Pole.
What the fuck are these people?
What in the world?
Who are these people with Jinder Mahal?
Miles.
Guys, I hope you're ready, because it's now time for fatal four-way action. And this one should be exciting, Michael, especially considering all the different styles we'll have at play here tonight.
His opponents, first, from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 225 pounds.
Fatal four-way action coming up in Byron. What should we look out for in this one? This is one of those matches, Michael, where anything can happen, and it usually does. The only thing I know for sure is that the referee will have his hands full of this one.
Why is everybody so silent?
Oh, no, I'm reading some something on Facebook.
Show still going on?
Yeah.
Oh. Couldn't tell because I couldn't hear you chat loud. The match over with, or is it still going on?
No, the entrances are still going.
North Carolina, weighing in at 233 pounds.
Sounds like I haven't heard nobody for like 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our fatal four-way match. And one of these superstars will walk away from here with plenty to brag about, while the other three will likely be wondering what went wrong for them here tonight.
Okay, so this is something a friend of mine posted, and I honestly feel like I agree with this. The reason men are so obsessed with achievements is because nobody gives a fuck about them, including the majority of men. And this is another thing he posted. It's like the closest thing you can get as a man to being cared about is being cared about because you're useful. Employing to the role of provider is not being loved for who you are, but what you can do. True love is rare. Most people are just using each other out of practicing. And then this is what somebody posted on here. Another thing. Hold on.
There is so much intrigue here heading into this fatal four-way match. That's what you get, Michael. When you have
they posted.
Who can legitimately win this thing?
I can back this up, dude. Up on this post, it really is sad and sick. We live in a world where we used to be very sexist and gender split and stereotypes. Women are simply praised and babied for their looks, for the fact they're females. Let me give an example. Most females have the mindset of it's okay if we cheat, if we do wrong behind a man's back, we make sure to hide it instead of being honest and real, like we claim we are. And if the truth comes up, I'm not the bad guy, he is. Females are nothing but manipulators and thieves of good spirits. What do you guys think of that? You think that's real? True or what?
Whenever possible, let your opponents do the work for you.
One thing to keep an eye out for in a match like this is the formation.
But then there's also more. It's like, you know, this is what the other person. This is the same person who just typed all that. He's like, read that again. In addition to that, men are only in the slightest, and I mean slightest, silver of a bit welcome if they are something, if they have something to prove. Men are not loved or wanted because of who they are, but because of what they are expected to do and provide. Hint: women can easy work a job and do anything a man can do. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm saying 90% of the time they won't because it's expected they can do whatever they wrong or right. Why a man sees them. That's just the sad life of reality. That's what the person typed. Do you guys agree with that, or?
Not where you want to be right now. Absolutely not.
I mean, honestly, what he said about the cheating part, like, there's a lot of women out there that cheat and then won't even come confront their boyfriends, fiancés, husbands about it. Like, it's okay to do it as long as they don't know. Like, you pretty much are showing that man that, oh yeah, I don't care about you, like, so. And then when they actually get confronted, as the dude said, it's the guy's fault. How is it the guy's fault if he's provided for you and taken care of you?
Down to the floor.
I mean, is it because you don't want to take responsibility that you got caught? I mean, that's just the world that we live in today, dude. And I mean, it sucks.
Nailed it. Ooh. Oh, what impact. There are two things that are crucial.
That's why a lot of men today, they don't want to get married because they're afraid to get married. It's not that they're afraid of a commitment. No, they're afraid that, you know, oh, the fact that, you know, I could possibly get cheated on or something like that. Really, somebody.
When you're going up against three other opponents.
Byron, earlier you talked about the importance of timing and being resourceful in a fatal four-way match. That reminded me of the #1 contenders match we saw on Raw in April of 2017. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, and Mickie James collided to see who would face Bayley for her Raw Women's Championship. Let's just say in the end, Miss Bliss took
But if I could barely hear you, you gotta speak up.
The 5 feet of
What are the percentages between male
and
and
doctorate
female
in
for
timing.
child support payments?
What if what?
What are the percentages of male and female paying their child support?
Well, if a male and if a husband and wife divorces and the woman gets child support, pretty much 80% of the man's paycheck goes to child support.
Contender for the Raw Women's Championship.
What's that?
Brilliant.
What if
When
the
you're a
woman
superstar in a
That rarely happens with women. I haven't heard a case about a woman have to pay child support.
You could be in there with a tag team partner, a friend, or an ally. I don't subscribe to such things, but remember in a fatal four-way singles match, it's
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I just don't know too much about it.
Fatal four-way matches, and Corey, you mentioned this before. Everyone is battling for themselves. Alliances are fleeting, and a rivalry can be conceived and renewed at any time. There are instances when friends have to battle one another if they are to achieve everything they want to in sports entertainment.
Michael, that's true. As we've seen in the past, sometimes you have friends, even members of a brotherhood, clash in a fatal four-way matchup. Think back to what we saw at 2015's Payback when Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose ended up throwing down. History was made on Monday Night Raw the night after 2016's SummerSlam event. There was a special fatal four-way elimination match to crown a new Universal Champion. Victory could only be achieved by pinfall or submission. Either Seth Rollins Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, or Big Cass would leave the new Universal Champion.
There is definitely a big fight feel, a main event feel that night on Raw as Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Big Cass collided in an epic battle. Each superstar tried to be as calculated as possible in their attacks. The WWE Universe looked on and awe when Roman Reigns dove over the top rope out on the floor and looking for all the glory here.
Does anybody else
Digging
know?
deep for a kick out. I think more than that.
Oh boy, he is rolling. Harsh impact. Cover here.
This is what makes him one of the best in the business. This might be it.
Oh my.
Drop kick.
Since there are no disqualifications in a fatal four-way match, a superstar has to be aware of the fact that if they're in an elimination fatal four-way match, someone who was eliminated can come back for retribution, and it's all legal. So you can eliminate an opponent, and they can interfere in the match later, and there's nothing anyone can do about it.
Byron, you touched on something earlier that's worth repeating. If you're a superstar competing in a fatal four-way elimination match and a competitor is eliminated, they can look to settle a score and affect the outcome of the match later. That's always a possibility in a fatal four-way match because of the no disqualification stipulation.
Michael, that's what I like to call an occupational hazard. We saw an example of that in 2016 during the fatal four-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. The Miz was eliminated from the match, but let's say he had a major influence on the outcome of the contest. Just ask Dean Ambrose.
What do we got here? No, there's the reversal. Nobody controls the pace of a match quite like this guy. What a match!
Allow me to...
Nightmare takedown.
You gotta believe this one's over. Victory is on the horizon.
Here we go. Back inside the ring. Byron, the fatal four-way tag team elimination match that you spoke of earlier was certainly an exciting way to help close out 2015. The WWE Universe knew to forget what they thought they knew about tag team matches when both Usos were going to superplex Rusev and Braun Strowman entered the ring and powerbomb both Usos as they superplex Rusev.
Michael, that was an unbelievable display of power by the monster among men, Braun Strowman. And soon after, there were bodies flying everywhere. Tommy Dreamer eliminated the Wyatt family. The League of Nations took out Team ECW, and Roman Reigns...
Uh-oh, here we go, here we go! This might be it. He's bringing it back inside the ring now.
Oh boy, he is rolling.
Beautiful technique.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Now,
What's up, bud? So what's going on?
We made doing a triple threat between God, Miles, and Potato, because Miles has been waiting for a while, and I felt like, you know, he should get his match in.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to know what was going on. That's all.
All right. Oh, question. Hold on. Where's it at? Where's my? A friend of mine posted this on Facebook. This is something that, like, I think I agree with this on it. It's like the reason men are so obsessed with achievements is because nobody gives a fuck about them, including the majority of men. And then he also writes, the closest thing you can get as a man to be cared about is being cared about because you're useful. Implying to the role of provider is not being loved for who you are, but what you can do. True love is very rare. Most people are just using each other out there out of practicing. You agree with that? And then this is what somebody wrote in that comment. It's like, I could back this dude up on this post. It really sad and sick, to be honest. We live in a world where we use two very sexist and gender splitting stereotypes. Women are simply praised and babied for their looks and for the fact they're females. Let me make an example. Most females have that mindset of, it's okay to cheat, it's okay if we cheat. If we do wrong behind a man's back, we make sure to hide that instead of being honest and real like we claim to be. And if the truth does come out, I'm not the bad guy, he is. Females are nothing but manipulators and thieves of good spirit. And the same person also writes, read that again. And in addition to that, men are only in the slightest, and I mean slightest, silver of all welcome if they have something to provide. Men are not loved or wanted because of who they are, but because of what they are expected to do and provide. Hint, women can easily work a job and do anything a man does. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm saying 90% of the time they won't, because it's expected they can do whatever they want, right or wrong, why a man babies them. That's just sad life of reality. Do you agree with that?
Well, that was a close call. Wow.
I mean,
The fatal four-way match works like this. 4 superstars are in the ring all at once.
No, but the whole fact that, you know, how he perspected and most women cheat today, that's kind of the society that we live in. If you look at it as like, you know, you have a boyfriend, fiance, husband, and you turn around and do that to them, and you were the person that they wanted to spend their life with, just because you're like, oh, well, you know, that's what other women do, so why can't I do it? Technically, you're in the wrong, but then when you get called out on it, you're saying that it was their fault. I pretty much agree and disagree with what that person said. Because not every woman's like that, but you do get majority of them that are.
No countouts and no disqualifications means anything can happen, and it can happen anywhere.
What's that?
Nice job getting out of the way of that one.
Something that a superstar must remember in a fatal four-way match is that there are no countouts and no disqualifications. I love this. Just think of all the possibilities. The match can end up in a brawl in the crowd, on the stage, in the locker room, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. This might be it. Oh, my. Boom.
Corey, as you mentioned before, I know how fond you are of contests that have no count-out, no disqualification stipulations attached to them. For a superstar competing in a fatal four-way, they have to remember that could mean being the...
Oh, wow, look, we got somebody that posted saying we want sparkles.
This could end it in a hurry.
Yeah, we do.
This one's over, guys.
I'm watching the chat on my TV and all that, and somebody just popped up with a comment saying we want sparkles. It ain't me. How's that me?
Oh, a scoop slam.
Positive.
And he's heading back in.
Huh.
There's a reason why the WWE continually comes back to Los Angeles. When you listen to this crowd, they're absolutely electric. The tension,
the drama. This is electric. When I talk about fatal four-way matches, I always think back to the classic. Looking on, double knee face breaker. Now it's time to capitalize. This is what makes him one of the best in the business. Oof. This might be big. This could be dangerous. Byron, earlier you mentioned one of the classic fatal four-way confrontations in sports entertainment history. The match between John Cena, Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship was a highly anticipated main event. The match saw a temporary reunion of the rated RKO tag team. It even saw Randy Orton and Shawn Michaels join forces to punish John Cena.
How the hell did somebody beat Resident Evil 8 in under 1 hour, 41 minutes?
Thought his spear on Randy Orton was enough to bring him the WWE title until an AA from John Cena changed that. An unexpected sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels dropped Cena right into Randy Orton. Cena picked up the pinfall victory and retained the WWE Championship.
You gonna ignore the fact he ring guard?
Right now in this awesome match.
Who ring guard it?
Dragon.
Gotta make sure you don't ring guard, bud.
Oh, look at it. Reverses that one.
Well, 7 and 8 are connected.
That has got to be it. Clearly
7 was fucking fun.
And a kick out. Wow. I thought
Yes,
for
it was.
sure that was it.
Well, that's true.
There's a mistake I've noticed that a lot of superstars make in a fatal four-way match. Check with the
Somebody
referee
was like,
to
yes,
confirm
Sheva
that
was
the
that
referee
bad.
counted two,
And then they
and it
put a
was
hat
not
on it that says, please be
Sometimes
patient, I have
they argue with
autism.
the referee. In a fatal four-way, if you take the time to argue with
Wow,
the referee
that's
about the
fucked
count,
up.
somebody's going to attack you, and it's going to be
I don't know,
too
the
late.
best fight in there was the Lady Dominatrix fight. And Angie and Donna Biavento.
Sometimes superstars get into a war of words with the official about if a pinfall attempt resulted in a 2 or 3 count. In a fatal four-way match, you have 2 other opponents, not including the person you tried to pin. If a superstar is not careful, they could end up on the wrong side of an attack.
Look, I understand the intent, but a fatal four-way match is not the time nor place to enter into a war of words with the official over the 3 count. That's when you're most likely to feel the wrath of one of the other opponents in the match.
Going to the top, high risk. Whoa! Nobody controls the pace of a match quite like this guy. German suplex!
Many times in a fatal four-way match, we've seen superstars join forces for the moment in taking out a dominant entity. This could be someone like Big Show, The Undertaker, Kane, and Nia Jax as examples. When a superstar has that type of power and can be that dominant, competitors will put the differences aside in hopes of eliminating that force from the match.
When this guy's on, look out. He's making a statement here with this attack. Byron, you made an excellent point a few moments ago. There have been many times throughout history where superstars have joined forces in a fatal four-way match in hopes of eliminating by pinning or incapacitating that dominant force. Sometimes interesting alliances are formed. We saw that at the 33rd WrestleMania during the Raw Women. Looking for a repeat.
It'll destroy your face. That's how you put an exclamation point on the end. Ooh, what impact. Warm up the bus. This one is over. And if you thought the first...
Going to the cover. Digging deep for a kick out. Not yet. You have to wonder what's going through these guys' minds in a match of this magnitude. German suplex. Oh, this is dangerous right here. Got the leg. Oh, what impact. One of these guys is going to walk away with the win here tonight. I just can't imagine one of them also accepting defeat.
Boom! What a comeback. Digging deep for a kick out. And the match continues. Back in the ring again. Oh, nasty impact.
I'm having a hard time figuring out what they're going to do next.
Thunderous slam.
And now one more time.
Super kick. We may be looking at our winner here, guys.
What happened?
This guy's on. Look out.
I can barely hear you. Gotta speak up, bud.
This one's over, guys.
I said he's talking about a super kick that he can barely reverse.
Super kicks are a pain in the ass to try to reverse because the fact of the matter is, if they're not timed, you're not getting it.
Oh boy, he is rolling. Harsh impact. We can also see a fatal four-way tag team match, which means 16 superstars are participating, and one from each team is in the ring at the same time. Similar to a fatal four-way with one very interesting twist. A superstar can be tagged in or out by any other legal man in the ring, not just your tag team partner.
Byron, earlier you brought up the 16 superstar four-way elimination tag team match. It goes without. Here we go.
Oh, what a code breaker. Wow, what impact. That's how you put an exclamation point on the end of a match, guys.
Ooh. Now in full control. Oh, here we go.
Hey, what's up?
Combination.
The fatal four-way match
What are you
works
buying?
like this. 4 superstars are in the ring all at once. There are no
Oh, nice.
countouts and no disqualifications. You have 4 superstars who are throwing down in the ring all at the same time, and they can fight anywhere they want.
Oh,
Looking at
nice.
it here.
That's what's up. Hey, Val, what's up?
Corey, you talked about the ground rules of a fatal four-way match. One thing to keep in mind is that depending on the stipulation, there could be eliminations in the match, meaning that once a superstar is pinned, taps out, is counted out, or is disqualified, they are eliminated from the match. But the battle wages on.
And a stipulation can change the entire complexion of a match. As one may think, a fatal four-way can see an interesting breakdown of temporary allies. No countouts
I see that.
and no disqualifications means anything can happen, and it can happen.
So, how far did you get him? Resident Evil 8?
History was made on Monday Night Raw the night after 2016 SummerSlam event. There was a special fatal four-way elimination match to crown a new Universal Champion. Victory could only be achieved by pinfall or submission. Either Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, or Big Cass would leave the new Universal Champion.
Nailed it.
There is definitely a big fight feel, a main event feel that night on Raw. Seth Rollins. Oh, no. We know what this is.
Oh, shit, sorry. I didn't mean get in the ring.
Beautiful
I was actually trying to run around because I couldn't see you guys.
Right to the face.
This is what makes him one of the best in the business.
No, I'm dead serious. Like, they like 2 of them were on the top rope, so I couldn't see what they were doing, so I was actually trying to move around so
I always think back to the classic battle at
so that I can see him.
2007 between Shawn Michaels, John Cena, Randy Orton, and the Rated R superstar Edge. The action was so
Val, how far are you in Resident Evil 8?
Why a superstar needs eyes in the back of their head in a fatal four-way match.
Byron, earlier you mentioned one of the classic fatal four-way confrontations.
What, with me doing that little run-in?
The match between John
Yeah,
Cena
that
and
wasn't
Shawn
on
Michaels and
purpose.
Randy
That
Orton
was
for the
pure
WWE
accident.
Championship was a highly anticipated main event. The match saw a temporary reunion of the Rated RKO tag team. It even saw Randy Orton and Shawn
God
Michaels
damn
join
it.
forces to punish John Cena.
This match defined the chaos of a fatal four-way. In the end, Edge
Fucking
thought his
controller's being
spear on
stupid.
Randy Orton was enough to bring him the WWE title until an AA from John Cena changed that. An unexpected sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels dropped Cena right into Randy Orton. Cena picked up the pinfall victory.
Snapmare takedown. Oh, roundhouse kick.
Wow, what a gritty performance.
What a DDT.
Yep.
And there it is, boys.
Yep.
Ooh, what impact. And one more time. Talk about rocking the jaw. That should do it. Over. Look at this. 1.
Nope.
2. You can't teach the type of tenacity we're witnessing here. Unreal.
I'm impressed. We can also see a fatal four-way tag team match, which means 16 superstars are participating, and one from each team is in the ring at the same time. Similar to a fatal four-way with one very interesting twist. A superstar can be tagged in or...
Almost. Almost.
You gotta believe this one's over.
That's how you put an exclamation point on a match.
True testament to grit. Oh, wow. Byron, earlier you brought up the 16 superstar four-way elimination tag team match. It goes without saying that the match is quite the scene.
Going for it all here.
Oh, Potato, while you're in here, since Nini's still here, we could have you do your female match too, all right? No.
He's making
Make your own
a statement here
sandwich.
with this attack.
Stop asking people to make you a sandwich.
There can only be
Oh,
one top
no,
dog
I'm
here in the
laughing at
WWE.
something
And a win here
Val
will go a long way in
Val
solidifying
posted.
one of these guys' claims of being the best in the business. Oh, and a snapmare. That'll give you whiplash. Nobody controls the pace of a match quite like this guy.
Yeah.
Oh boy, he is rolling.
I can reach his top shelf with no problem,
This
you
one's
know?
for good measure. Oh, right in the face.
Destroyed.
I think you're probably the only short person in here, Nini.
Vicious strikes. That has got to be it.
Again?
Yeah,
Really?
it is what it is.
Come up with something new already.
Here we go. Boom. Something big is coming. Looking for the win. This might be it.
Oh my, this one is over.
Second time? Sure, why not? Kick out at 2. Oh, that may
I'm
have
not
been
gonna lie, you guys, this is actually a really good match.
Nasty impact.
What a slam.
That foot will jar your spine.
Boom, impact. Quick thinking to avoid that one.
You know, series is run by the CIA, right? Same thing with Alexa. Alexa's ran by the CIA too. That's how they figure out where you're at.
Oh, nasty impact.
Since there are no disqualifications in a fatal four-way match, a superstar has to be aware of the fact that if they're in an elimination fatal four-way match, Someone who was eliminated can come back for retribution. And
yeah, Nene, they probably look up everything that you do.
This one's over, guys.
This could do it. 2. A kick out, and you can see the
That doesn't matter because that's already saved up in the cloud.
He's making a statement
The
here.
only way that you could actually delete it and not be seen is by an app called DuckDuckGo.
They can look to settle a score and affect the outcome of the match later. That's always a possibility in a fatal four-way match because of the no disqualification stipulation.
Michael, that's what I like to call an occupational hazard. We saw an example of that in 2016 during the fatal four-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender.
Well, what do you expect? Jobbers like other jobbers, you know?
He was eliminated from the match, but let's say he had a major influence.
No,
on
he
the
ain't.
outcome
Actually,
of the
Sheamus, it
contest.
was hard for him to job.
Avoids trouble there.
That don't mean nothing. Hey, Val, I'm probably going to wind up streaming the rest of Resident Evil 8. You want to watch that later, too, or no?
Oh, repeated right in the face. Boom! Knee right to the face.
I'm going to laugh when he says Nene.
You gotta believe this one's over.
One more look at it. Boom! Right to the jaw.
Oh, you can pick up your teeth in section 112. That might have done it, Cole.
The Bella Twins.
This is it. 2.
When you're a superstar in a fake...
Oh, good match, you guys.
Real performance.
Alright, so, Potato, you want to do your female match now?
Potato left.
I see Potato left.
Why would you just say Cesaro was a jobber too?
He is, but the only reason he's getting his title shot is because Kofi got his, and everyone was bitching about Cesaro.
No, well, in all fairness, Cesaro should have got his way before Kofi.
He's got a point.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Kofi and all that, but the fact of the matter is, Cesaro put in a lot more work. In my opinion, at least.
When was the last time he won like a main title, Cesaro? No.
Alright, God, I'll talk to you later, bud.
You getting his match tonight?
It's who?
Am I getting my match?
Oh yeah, yeah, speaking of which, alright, you want your match? Yeah, you got it, bud.
When did he win the tag titles with Shinsuke? When was this?
A while back.
Shows how much I watch SmackDown.
Alright, well, we'll be back in a little bit. I'm gonna run the store, grab some food, kinda hungry.